Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are so thrilled to have a return appearance from these cool cats from Curebound. We got Kellie Sullivan, Curebound Team Development for Padres Pedal the Cause, joined by her colleague, Megan Waddell, Curebound Event Director. Good to see both of you.
Great to see you as well.
I know. So, a lot has transpired, obviously, since we saw you last, but I'll let either one of you say what's the mission of Curebound.
Yeah, so we are a San Diego-based nonprofit that is focused on accelerating cures for cancer by funding collaborative cancer research here among a lot of the big institutions.
No, I think that's great. And you guys are founded when?
We began in San Diego in 2013.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so this will be our 10th year of impact.
Right. And why cancer? Why did you focus on that?
Yeah, so our founder, Bill Komen, was a 2-time lymphoma survivor. He was in St. Louis, treated at the Siteman Cancer Center there, and started actually Pedal the Cause back there to fund cancer research, and then moved to San Diego and saw the amazing cancer research institutions here, the huge biotech community, and the amount of philanthropy that people are invested in, and decided this is really the city that's going to cure cancer. So he began that organization here 10 years ago, and we've made some tremendous strides since then.
And when did you get involved?
I was first hired in 2015, so 7.5 years ago. I've seen a lot of transitions, but I'm just thrilled to still be here.
How about you, Kellie?
I've been here since I actually started as a spin instructor with Padres Pedal the Cause on event day. So
Nice.
I got to lead 2 of the classes in 2018 and just fell in love with the mission and the organization. Didn't really have a connection to cancer at the time.
Right.
And taught again in 2019 and then faced my own battle with breast cancer in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then coming out of that, just had such a big heart for the mission and the work that our CEO, Ann Marbarger, who's amazing, can't say enough good things about her, was pulling me in to kind of talk about what we had in store for Curebound and asked me to join the team full-time. So I've been with us a little bit over a year now as a full-time employee.
Yeah,
really excited.
I think I had Ann on a long time ago.
You did. Yeah,
because
you did.
I'm old and I can't remember anything anymore, which is anyway. I'm glad to see everything okay with the breast cancer. Where is it right now?
Yeah, everything's good. I'll have another 8 years of basically ongoing low-grade chemotherapy that I'll take, hormone suppression, but everything's good. I'm thriving. Can't knock me down.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I was on the Susan Komen board for 6 years.
Yeah, I'm actually, after this, going to go meet a friend who's doing the 3-day walk. I'm going to walk with her for a hot second over in La Jolla. Yeah.
I did the 100-yard walk a couple weeks ago, for God's sake. You guys
I love it.
Yeah, it was very good. Talk about how the Padres got involved in all this.
Yeah, so they were interested in starting a cycling fundraiser for cancer research as well in 2015, 2016, and then was able to connect with our founders, Bill and Amy Komen, and decided that we should join forces to really make the biggest impact instead of kind of competing against each other. So in 2016, we became Padres Pedal the Cause. They welcomed us to their home at Petco Park, where we hold our annual event in the spring, and they're really our biggest champions and presenting sponsors of our annual Padres Pedal the Cause event, and they help in tons of ways, operationally, marketing. They're just our biggest champions.
Yeah, how much money have you folks raised?
So through Padres Pedal the Cause, the specific event, we've raised $18 million over 10 years.
That's amazing.
100% of which goes directly to cancer research. And now becoming the bigger brand of Curebound, we think of that as really an umbrella to sort of bring together all the initiatives that we do. So Padres Pedal is our big event. We also talked to you last time about the concert that we were hosting this fall for the first time, which we just had a couple weeks ago.
How was it?
It was fantastic.
Okay.
I think last time we were here, we weren't even able to announce who the artist was going to be.
I don't think so. Who was it?
It was Alicia Keys.
Oh, just
at
her,
the Rady Shell. Yeah, just her.
Oh my
Girl was
goodness.
on fire.
She was on fire. And she really took it upon herself to connect with the mission and to support Curebound. And we ended up raising $3.15 million from that event.
That is just unbelievable. How long did it take to put that on?
So it was a sprint. This is the first time we've done this event. And we are actually only able to open ticketing about 2 months before the concert.
Is that a Shell rule? Is that an Alicia Keys rule?
It was sort of timing of all coming together.
Megan and Kelly
Alicia
rule.
Yeah, it was not our choice for sure. But getting Alicia excited and locked in and getting the Shell excited and locked in, it took that amount of time to get together. So we know next year, or next time, I should say, we plan an event of that scale, we'll have a little bit more lead time.
Yeah. Are you already looking about it for 2023?
Yeah, we're deciding if it's going to be every year or every other year, but that event will absolutely be back,
Okay.
and we are hoping and excited to get that going.
Would you think of other venues besides Rady?
Yeah, I mean the Shell is really an unbeatable venue.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. The venue is just incredible, but totally open to anywhere else we could go, and really what fits the artist and what fits the theme of the event.
Yeah. We're chatting with Kellie Sullivan. She's the Curebound Team Development Guru for Padres Pedal the Cause, joined by her colleague Megan Waddell, Curebound Event Director. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Cloudcast Media here at the Mission Fed Credit Union Studio right in Scripps Ranch, which Fed's doing great things for San Diegans for 60 years. I think I might have mentioned this before, Kelly and Megan, that this stuff is near and dear to my heart. My father was a medical doctor, and research is so important to say the least, and it's not inexpensive. But we all know that what you may discover with this type of cancer, whether it's breast cancer or whether it's lymphoma or pick a topic, can lead to some of the discoveries of others. Kelly, talk a little bit about are people playing fair in the sandbox? There's a lot of groups that are, vying for research dollars for cancer or whatever the case may be. Do we have a pretty good collaborative group of folks that play well together, I should say?
We're actually pretty lucky, and it's rare, Drew, that you can find six institutions that are willing to work together. So that's kind of what Curebound's made happen here in San Diego. You can't find that elsewhere. So we're really lucky to work with, and I'll just list them out for you, Megan.
Please.
If I forget any, please jump in. La Jolla Institute for Immunology, Scripps Research, UC San Diego Moores Cancer Center specifically, Rady Children's, then Sanford Burnham Prebys and Salk Institute. And they really do a great job, supported by our scientific advisory board, kind of helps launch that effort of getting that collaboration to happen. And we can't say enough good things about the research team that we have and the people that come together within those institutions to make the magic happen. And we are in a place of supreme confidence. In fact, I know Megan can speak to the grant cycles that we have going right now as a result of that collaboration.
Yeah, and not only is it rare that we have 3 NCI designated cancer centers here, but the fact that all 6 of the institutions that we fund are so close together. Mm-hmm. We heard Malin Burnham in a video that we produced for the concert say that if you can get on your bike and ride to the next institution, why wouldn't you do that? And that's exactly what we're asking people to do, is to collaborate in that way. And so the grant making that we are in the cycle of right now, we have funded 12 of our discovery grants earlier this year. And those go to seed research. So an idea that needs to get off the ground that could really be a game changer. And then we are reviewing grant applications for our targeted grants, which give some of the grants we funded before some follow-on funding.
Right.
And then for the first time, we're excited to announce that at the end of this year, we are going to be giving out a Cure Prize, our first $1 million grant.
Nice.
And that is aimed at changing the standard of care for a cancer that is typically fatal. And $1 million could go a long way. Obviously, we know, like you said, research is very expensive, but $1 million feels like a great opportunity to really change the face of a cancer that's deadly. So we're excited to be giving that out.
Right. Do you have a cancer in mind, or how does that work?
So it's pretty open. We do have different pillars that we support through the SAB, but anybody who thinks that they have a game-changing idea is welcome to apply. And we have 10 game-changing ideas.
Oh, is that
we're
right?
Reviewing
Okay.
right now.
And then, so for the efficacy of it, do they have to show what type of research they've done? Does that have to be sort of longitudinal? It can't be one person did well, but the other 99 didn't? How does that work?
Yeah, I think we're all proud to say that we've done a great job of pulling in the people who know the best, and that is not us.
Right.
So on our SAB, we actually have a lot of grant reviewers that are professionals in their field at different research institutions and biotechs, and they are reviewing for efficacy of the projects. And I saw some of the projects, and they are 60, 70 pages long. So we feel really confident in the amount of work and the caliber of the projects that we're going to be funding.
Right. So let me ask both you folks here. Obviously, you had to know a little bit about medicine because of your breast cancer, Kellie, of course. But did you have any iota of understanding about science and medicine and research when you were 5 years old, 10 years old, in college, or my goodness, this is just so fascinating to learn this new field?
Yeah, I definitely do not have a science background. I was a political science major and thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Got the word science in there, but
right, yeah, but it's not the same. Definitely not the same. And so things definitely still go over our head. I think what we've been lucky enough to find is some researchers who will explain things to you in layman's terms,
right.
so that we are able to go out and really explain the impact. And that's kind of we call them unicorns when we find a doctor or researcher who can communicate in that way. And there are so many brilliant minds on our SAB who help us be able to relay the impact.
Yeah, how about you, Kellie?
Same. I think doctors that come to mind that are part of our board and part of our collaborative team, Dr. Ruben Shaw, Ezra Cohen are two, and then Dr. Cheryl Anderson also on our board, just incredibly gifted at speaking to the science in such a way that we can understand it. So for us, it's really cool that we get to kind of be behind the scenes on the Curebound side and hear them break things down in a more palatable fashion. I know when you're jumping into a cancer diagnosis like I did, and I know Megan lost her father to cancer too, and she probably could speak to some of the science behind that. You want to know everything.
Right.
So to be able to have the gift of a physician, my surgeon was Dr. Ann Wallace, and my oncologist is Dr. Angelique Richardson. Both of them did an incredible job at sitting down with me in a personalized way at UC San Diego and Moore's Cancer Center specifically, and just giving me everything laid out. This is your vision. This is what we're doing, and letting me understand it. So I'm privileged that we have UC San Diego on our team, and that they have such a great group of oncologists that do exactly that, because that's critical when you're giving somebody a diagnosis and telling them about their treatment plan. This is the path. This is what we're doing. And on the research side, this is what we're doing to be of impact and make a change in the world, really. So that's huge.
You're spot on. When we come back from break, I want to talk more about that aspect of it. And as you folks know, always save time in the second half of the interview. What can our listeners do to support your efforts besides go to concerts and get on their bike and pedal around? And there's a lot of things they can do in between when we return with Kellie Sullivan, Curebound Team Development, and Megan Waddell, Curebound Event Director. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to Drew Schlossberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We'll be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Cloudcast Media and Mission Fed Credit Union. Great things to San Diegans for more than 60 years. Credit Union really is on the top of its game when it talks about community outreach. We're joined by Kellie Sullivan and Megan Waddell of Curebound, just talking about the unbelievable amount of work they've done, raising research funds for different cancer programs, cancer treatment. Just talking about right before break, how they're just honored to work with some unbelievable doctors that can actually explain in layman's terms what exactly the patient has and how they're going to cure it. And Kellie was talking about her personal situation. Kellie, and then you can jump in on this too, Megan, that's not an easy skill set to do when you're talking about such complicated, things about here's your condition. How do I make that something that's understandable and where you're going forward?
Absolutely. It's not easy. And hats go off to those physicians that are able to that take the time, I should say,
100%,
and have the heart to say, "Hey, how
Yes.
can I better translate this to my patient?"
Yeah.
Like that's where it's at, and
Exactly.
and that's my challenge to physicians. Like,
100
if you're dealing with people, like you've gotta humanize them. You cannot treat them as a number.
Yeah.
And it's just like stunning that we have this crew on our collaboration team that does such a great job at that.
Yeah, it's funny. Getting back to my dad, the biggest criticism his patients had with him is that they had to wait a long time in the waiting room because he was explaining a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
And then they talk about Chinese cooking and X, Y, and Z, and if they couldn't afford, give me a recipe for chassi bao, and that would be it. But he was a doctor's doctor back in the time. He unfortunately died of a horrible disease, knew what it was, no cure for it. But I think that's great. I taught medicine at UCLA. And so, which is a pretty good research group. Megan, I think the same thing. It's just wonderful when you have these doctors and everybody that's around them dealing with that type of stuff. They can really articulate what needs to be done.
Yeah, I think what most people don't realize about cancer is that it is not a singular thing that we can focus on curing. It is very complex, and every patient experiences it differently. And so if you add those layers onto research and treatment, it becomes exponential for how many different ways we can go about looking at this problem. And so to have doctors, like I'll give Dr. Jason Siklick at UCSD a shout out, who both does research, he runs a lab at UCSD and treats patients. And so to be able to see that level of complexity in your everyday life, but then turn around and teach people really every day about how they're going to make an impact in such an easy way to understand, I think, is how we've gotten so far, because we're able to communicate the impact that these grants are having for people like Dr. Siklick and for patients that he's treating. And it just really comes down to the caliber of people that we're able to fund here in San Diego.
Well, and I think, and you guys know this better than anybody, that, and we say this quite a bit on our show, we have a lot of groups that come on, whether it's Huntington's disease or ALS or what you folks are doing, you go down the list. Yes, the patient is the person you treat, but now you're also treating the spouse, the kids, the aunts, the uncles, the pets, anything that's affiliated. And, talk about, Kellie, how important that is. It's the whole family that gets involved in this. Yes, you're the one who had the breast cancer, there's no question. But when you're made to feel at ease, that's got to help your circle of influence.
Absolutely. And I love that we're talking about this, because I'm going to take Dr. Siklick a step further.
Okay.
We had the privilege of meeting a beautiful woman, Deborah, who lost both her husband and her son to a very rare form of cancer. GIST was for her son, and her husband another rare form. Mm-hmm. She had the privilege of working with Dr. Siklick and treating both of them. And the coolest thing is, Megan and I had the privilege of going on a walk with Dr. Siklick and Deborah a few weeks back. She's doing a project of her own that's raising money towards research for GIST. But talk about treating the disease, doing the research, and then taking care of the caregiver. Like, he is fully vested in making sure that Deborah knew everything that was going on as he was treating her husband and her son, and then still to this day is a part of helping her out with her project and like humanizing that in the best possible way.
Yeah, and to take it a step further with Dr. Siklick, he was awarded one of our very first discovery grants and told us that his lab was close to closing before he received the Padres Pedal the Cause grant.
Getting chills thinking about that.
Yeah. And the amount of patients that he's saved, we have 3 examples alone in our community, and he treats a very rare form of just cancer. But 3 different patients have told us that he saved their lives multiple times. Yeah. And they were turned away from other institutions who basically told them to go home and plan their own funeral. And they're here today to tell their story because we helped keep Dr. Sicklett's lab alive. And we will not take as much credit as it sounds for that, but it makes us very proud to know that we helped continue this research.
But those are the stories behind the scene, and that make that thing happen. And those 3 people are alive and probably thriving, and so is their families, and so are their friends, and so are they whatever they are connecting with down the road. People won't even know that some of these may be. I'm going to write a book on this and be a best-selling author on this aspect of it. Again, we're chatting with Kellie Sullivan, Curebound Team Development for Padres Pedal the Cause, and Megan Waddell, Curebound Event Director, and they do more than Pedal the Cause. They do concerts. They do fill in the blank, you name it. In this aspect, I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Spotlight on the Community Show. You know, it's just we should have this doctor on next time you're on, if that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely, he would love to be.
Yeah, he would love to.
Consider it a done deal. So that's going to end as long as you 2 guys are on too, because you have great content on this. We got a couple minutes to go here, and again, we could continue this conversation for another hour and a half and not miss a beat on this. I'll start with you on this, Kellie, and then toss it on over to Megan. What can our listeners do to support you guys?
Oh, that's the best question ever, Drew. So we have an event called Padres Pedal the Cause taking place on March 18th, and that's largely Megan's and my and our team's project that we're focusing on wholly right now. So if you're interested in participating as a cyclist, you can spin on top of the Western Metal Supply Building at Petco Park.
Will you be leading that spin?
I will not be leading, sadly. I will be there in support of it. Okay. I will be very busy on event day. I wish I could.
Of course you will.
My heart is definitely there. But we've got so many aspects, and all of these aspects are a part of bringing everybody together on one day where 100% of that money that's raised through that event goes directly towards funding cancer research right here in San Diego. So we also have volunteer opportunities, but it's a really incredible day where we basically take over Petco Park. All the cyclists go over Coronado Bridge. That's an epic opportunity of it itself. And as I said earlier, one of the coolest things is a lot of the people that show up on event day show up with their why. And you'll see our board member, Gene Smith, who's battled cancer that he should have passed away from years ago, will show up. His family will show up in support of him and be present. It is the most moving, energetic, passionate event that I've ever been a part of. And that's why I'm here today talking about it. So I'd love for people to join in. If they want to, they can go easily to our website, www.curebound.org, and hit register and take a look at the information about it. All of the answers can be answered there, or you can email us at info@curebound.org as well.
Very cool stuff. Megan, any final comments?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's our biggest event right now. And I just want to emphasize there is a way for everybody to get involved to help accelerate cures for cancer here in San Diego. It's a really fantastic day at Petco Park. That's unlike any other, but it's really about 100% going to the mission. And I will end on an Alicia Keys quote from our concert because I'm going to use this for the rest of our days here. But she ended the concert saying, "Tell your friends to tell their friends about Curebound," and that's what we're doing here today. So come get involved.
Yeah, I know that's so well stated on this. Well, and also for our listeners, be looking at that website. There's going to be another cool concert that's going to come up in 2023, to be determined when and who will be performing. But I think that's great. Kellie and Megan, it's always an honor to have you folks on the show. I am truly blessed. I'll look forward to having you on with the doctor the next time, and wishing you nothing but unbelievably great success with Curebound moving forward.
Thanks so much, Drew.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.